So we picked up this IS 700Z. It's a Ferris commercial grade mower, zero turn mower. We got it with like 350 some hours on it. We have 400 on it now. It's working well. Cuts fast. Nice mower. We bought it used, of course, like I said, with like 350 hours on it. Our guy was cutting the grass the other day, and in the middle of cutting the grass, the left side won't propel forward anymore. Right side's fine, and the left side will go reverse, but when you put forward input into the lever, it just makes a whining noise. So I don't know if it's that left wheel drive motor. I don't know anything about zero turns, but we got to get this mower operational, so I'm going to look into it with the linkages. People said check the belts, check the fluid. The fluid seems good. The reservoir says use SAE 20W50 weight motor oil. The left reservoir would be right there. It's at the full cold line. The right one's a little low, or right at the line, but I'm going to check belts. I'm going to pull the tire off, jack it up, and start looking at linkages and such. I don't see anything right off the start. This is the left drive handle, and when you would push forward on it, you can see what's actuating right here. This lever here is what appears to go down. So I got to follow it back and make sure everything's still connected and all that. Alright, if you can't hear me, I might have to do a voiceover. So right now, I just have a bicycle helmet flipped over in the seat with a ratchet strap. That actuates the pressure switch to unlock it so you can run the machine, because I want to see what's going on. You could take apart the connector and connect, I'm pretty sure you can just take a wire in both ends and connect, close the circuit, and that would also work, but this was quicker. So I have this left tire off so I can see what's going on. Always be careful, the belts are spinning, you can lose a finger. But I'm just looking, the drive is right here, drive motor for the left side. I have no weight on it. I got the wheel off and I just checked it. It worked in reverse before, but it didn't work going forward. Now it's working going forward with no weight on it. Before it was whining. So I don't know what's going on with that drive. If I'm going to have to swap out that drive motor, or if it's something internal that I can swap out, I'm not sure yet. But it's working right now with no weight. So as you can see by this plate right here, this is a, I don't know what they call them, wheel drive transmission. That this is on the Ferris, and it can be serviced. So I can pull that plate off, and I can change some of the O-rings in there. They make aftermarket kits for them. And I'm going to probably drain the fluid and service it, and hope that just doing a service on this will improve the problem, since it's driving, but it's not, doesn't have a lot of power or strength. And then the oil looks kind of dirty. There's a filter on right here, so I can change this filter out, and it looks old and dirty. So it's only got 400 hours on it, but I'm gonna service this, and hopefully if that filter's plugged, that could be an issue. On some of the crappier, cheaper mowers, they you can't service them. I mean, you can take them out and change the fluid in them, but that's about it. But these ones you can service. The filter lives right here. I'm gonna swap it out, and hopefully that fixes our issue. All the linkages seem alright, the belt tension's fine, and so we're gonna give that a shot. Alright, so I'm going to take this wheel back off and expose that transaxle and start dropping it out. I want more room. I don't have any fancy lift. We have a gravel floor in this part of the garage, so it's hot as hell today. Anyways, I'm sweating. I'm not even doing anything. Got the farm jack on the back. I know it's not the safest, but I'm going to take some wood and crib this back bumper so it's supported in the air. And then I got my motorcycle jack, which is locked right here, lifting the front up off the ground just to get it higher in the air to work on it. I have a video. I changed the filter and oil on it. No change. So something I think is internally wrong. I checked all the linkages. I can't see anything wrong. I think something's internally wrong with the transaxle. You can, I think, rebuild them. These ones come apart, but it's not a sealed unit. But I'm probably not going to go that route. I'm probably just going to replace it. I asked the dealership if they rebuild them, and they said typically they just swap them out and send them back. So I think it's like $1,200, but it is what it is. First step to remove this left side transaxle 13/16 socket. Take your 4 lug nuts off. I might have to get my impact and pull the wheel. Simple. Alright, so this hook right here on this eyelet bolt, that connects to this pulley back here, which is a tensioner pulley. I need to get that unhooked to release tension to get the belt off of the top of the, this is the other side, that's the top of the transaxle that spins with the belt. So I got to get the belt off of there. So in order to do that, I got to get this unhooked. There's a lot of tension on it. So what I'm doing right down here to get this spring off, I got my pry bar in here. I'm going to work it off of just prying against this support here. It's got a lot of tension, so I can't, I guess I could put this down here. Hopefully it doesn't hit the camera. I'm just going to pry. Like this. There's a lot of tension on that. Just gotta through sparks.
Got it. You got it.
Yeah. Damn. It sparked when it came off. Hopefully you'll be able to see this. But all we have to do now is get that belt off of where that fan's at. On top of the transaxle. I don't know how that happens, but maybe when we drop it down we can slip it off. Alright, if you see that cotter pin right there, that is the engage lever for the neutral, to put it in neutral. That's what I was messing around with in that other video to disengage the drive. It just goes through the back frame. You can grab them and pull them and push them, lock them in and out. But I'm just going to pull that little cotter pin right there right now and pull that up through that bracket so it's not a problem and doesn't get damaged when we drop it. Sorry, I can't. Okay, so the pin's out right there, and then we're just gonna pull that rod up through, basically like that. And now it's out of the way. Not gonna interfere when we drop it down and bend anything. Next, I gotta disengage this lever. I'm probably just gonna take this bolt out. There's a nut on the back side. I'm probably just gonna pull this right here for now. Once I get the new one, I can swap this stuff over because you're gonna want to, it's geared and you're gonna want it to be in the same position. This is your parking brake. It doesn't, when you operate the parking brake lever, this doesn't move too much. But yeah, I'm going to take this bolt out here and disengage this, and then once we get the new one, I'll swap this over so it's in the exact same spot. And then I'm also going to pull this bolt right here and disengage this, and we might have to swap this over when we get the new one. And then 2 bolts here on the front, here on the back, and it drops down. There's a hydraulic line on the back side that connects to the reservoir, and that's pretty much it. Not much to it. Alright, I'm disengaging this parking brake bracket. On the bolt head is a 1/2 inch, so I'm throwing the 1/2 inch on there, and then I'm just using the all 16ths on the back side because it's quicker than grabbing the correct wrench. So take this off. There's not a lot of tension on this, so you don't have to worry about the spring above it slinging things. Just remember how everything goes together. But this is the parking brake cable, or parking brake. You can see there's a little bushing in there, washer. Make sure you put it together in a correct orientation. Nut with a flange nut on the other side. Pretty simple. That's disconnected. We might have to swap this over. As you can see, it's got teeth. This ring will pop off, this safety clip, and then this can come off the shaft and put it on probably on the new one. But we're gonna wait till we have it so we can swap it over on the bench. All right, and then the only other thing that has to get disconnected down there is, you can see it here, this bolt right here. This is for, this one might have a little tension on it, and it doesn't feel like it. That's for the lever. This is where you get your input. When you operate the lever, I'll show you real quick. And you move that. That's reverse with the handle, that's forward. And this is where the input comes in right here. It's a linkage to your lever, but it hooks up right here. We might have to swap this over and put it on the new one. We'll see when we get the new one what all it comes with. But it'll be much easier to do off the machine. It also looks like it could be a 1/2 inch. It is. So I don't know if there's a regular nut on the back or a... See, it's spinning. All 16ths on the nut. Alright, this one was pretty tight, so I put some lubrication on it and broke it free. Put a little WD-40 on it, and we're taking it apart now. Pay attention to how this stuff goes together. Bolt. So this is a bushing that rides in between on the back side of this bracket. So it was bolts, which is through the bushing, well, bolt through the bracket, through the bushing, through the dog bone on the connecting rod, and then flange nut on the back side. And the only other thing we have, two bolts right here that we're going to take off that hold the axle, and then the 2 mount bolts, and there's a hydraulic line I got to disconnect. Alright, I'm going to drop this axle. There's a bolt with a nut through here and one on the back side. 1/2 inch again. 1/2 inch takes everything off on here, so that's nice. I believe it's 1/2 inch on the nut too, but I'm going to use my all 16ths. Maybe. Damn. 1/2 inch on the nut. I'm going to hold the bolt head with my all 16ths. Works way better than trying to put the ratchet on the bolt head as I tried initially. Or get yourself 2 1/2 inch ratchet setups. So there we go. Nuts on, washers on the top side, and yeah, another flange nut. Alright, take the other one off. go. You can use your battery operated ratchet, or little impact obviously would be way faster, but that just takes me longer to go get it. So that's the other axle mount bolt. Now that's not kept anymore. Now all we have to do is drop the two main bolts that hold the transaxle to the frame, and I still have the hydraulic line connected I gotta look at. I'm just gonna remove the reservoir, and it's just a short hose down to the transaxle. I'm just gonna take the reservoir off to prevent the mess, and I can do it on a bench, swap it over. So you just need a backing wrench. It's probably a 7/16 on the nut. It's a 7/16 on the head. 2 bolts. Hold this reservoir on, then it'll be disconnected. Bolt washer, flange nut. Alright, so we have the back bolt right here, 9/16, and there's also one on the front right there. It's 9/16. I just have to take those two out. All I have is this 4-ton, 8,000-pound floor jack, so I'm just using this to support it while I loosen those up, and then I can lower it down. I wish I had a smaller floor jack, but I don't. So I'm going to run these 2 bolts out, and then we're going to lower it down. Just so you're aware, it is a bolt and a nut, so you'll have to get on the top side also. So just a little bit more fun. Alright, so the back bolt is loose, almost just finger tight, just in case something drops, it'll hold on. The front bolt, the mount bolt, is right there. That's the nut. And then the head is, it's hard to see, but it's right there by the belt. So I'm going to put a crescent wrench on the top and ratchet on the bottom, take that nut off now. Wife's holding a crescent wrench on the head up top, and I am taking this nut off. Alright, I should be able to lower this down now. Just hold on to this axle and let her down slowly and control it. One issue I see is this bolt right here is it's going to have to go that way to get this bolt out of that frame. Okay, back bolts up out. Alright, bolts are out. This should move over. There it is. And it should drop down now. Okay. Alright, I'm going to stop it there, because I think this belt's going to get jacked up. Alright. Belt's off. Should be free. I don't think. But should be free. Something's still hung up on. Oh, it's just no room. Alright, you're good there. Alright, it's free. Not too much to it. I just took the reservoir off and I can swap it over. That's it. It's not too heavy, it just was easier with the jack. And I'll show you when we get the new one, swap everything over that it needs.